Biafra, Biafra, the only hope we have. We salute you, we appreciate you, we salute you, we appreciate you. No, Amadike, one no Biafra, Odogu, Chukoki, Kechekwagi, Netiti Rogi, Dragon Master, Biko do, my Prime Minister, Atakata Abo, take us to bus stop, the era you do to Nayasi, Anya Chikenewo, the one you know in a jogodo. We want to go, yo, no. We appreciate you, Biafra, appreciate you. We salute you, Biafra, they salute you. We appreciate you, Biafra, appreciate you. We salute you, Biafra, they salute you. Cabinet members, download, media people, GCK. Deep down our heart, yo, Biafra, GCK. We are proud of you, we are very, very grateful, GCK. We cannot forget all your sacrifice, GCK. Nabanyagi kosidi, bigger than number. We appreciate you, Biafra, appreciate you. We salute you, Biafra, we salute you. We appreciate you, Biafra, appreciate you. We salute you, Biafra, we salute you.
It's Black Star Bitch.
They're going to Mana Pusyoko. Yo. Biafra Liberation Army, Biafra Defense Force, Biafra Marino, Biafra National League, Omunikwe Battalion, Nina Cheko Bodanyo, we cannot forget all your sacrifice. No. Napanyagi City, bigger than number. We appreciate you, Biafra, appreciate you. We salute you, Biafra, we salute you. We appreciate you, Biafra, appreciate you. We salute you, Biafra, we salute you.
Biafra is here. Special thanks to Moses Simon for the Prime Minister.
Malakano, Atwainjekano, Ekelekwange Kelano, Dodo, Samana Pamake Kenegu, Mwaki Benu, Akusia with them, Nebano, what about the Quago, what make it a quago, what make it a quago. Nangu Wabatobia, Nangu Wabatobia, but Biafra, and the woman, Angela made me say, and the woman. Brother Biafra go be do mama dodo. Obi ti gba na kwa kana yo lo si gba ni na ko bi do mama no. Mala fali. Tini ba na ba me na ri ni fi mem na ka me na ri ni fe. The passe no no me ku na ri no kunu. It's not your convention came 29 November na Latino. Na ba tara December 3 declare right the Biafra no. No si ki melu go bi do mama na fali. It's anyway that pata no bi. Onya na kpo we phone eme. Na azabata no bi we phone eme. Na azabata no bi udadum. If Fabiano, what I be after by no, I am mano. I am meru ki se meri ma me like I se menu. That's not come back can do. Me like it na kwa ye so na so play di kenu. It's na boy bi na ye de na ye de men. Onye si na da fa ye me yo funa anya ni. Okwesi no we kai ti padori. I am na you be half na ya no. I just na kai na ma ya do ma ye wori ti na kai no. I just ni so na wa je ji nke wa na aja no. Do kere kwa ge tu ko ti eke. I got to walk on the I think they are to just rebelling. My mom is going to take you. My mom is to go there. My one wants to go to Chatalono. I didn't go to Chatalono. I thought they are not to go. I'm not going to go to I don't know. I cannot go to take you. Okay, for money. How do I get a bag? Nigeria doesn't want to makana mkata sasa kuna kwa baya bata kweli manibula tala ya kwa na ndio mtoto kwa na kile kwa halo na
na
sasa kwa tano ndio nimekele kweli onumekele kweli baba bali na wale mbe bali ndesu asa totoli na ma ifo dogu melo halo iwe chini medala atu atala jani to me ka hafu na nyari ngba na tala Biafra ko bido mo mano brother like Biafra ko bido mo mano that's what I so me for you mean I come on ye melu ko bido mo mano when you no kwe you put that Biafra ka me no wa do na kele no mo na de ka no e ba nyari ki go ku sa to no aye me ka gwara you do
na
go to no do no tini we ta ba ka no bi o tini ba ta ka chi no bi nu ke bu no mo na no bi yi ma me na yo me lo Finland báyìí njẹ́ láti olùmẹ̀kẹ́lẹ́ kú nù ẹlẹ́sẹ̀sẹ̀ stop olùmẹ̀kẹ́lẹ́ kú ẹ̀rọ founder olùmẹ̀kẹ́lẹ́ kú ẹ̀rọ adádẹ́kùn nàndẹ̀kẹ́lẹ́ olùmẹ̀kẹ́lẹ́ kú ẹ̀rọ àtàlù gbọ̀ngàn àyọ̀ ọba njẹ̀bọ̀ òyìnbó nu olùmẹ̀kẹ́lẹ́ ìlú náà kú ẹ̀rọ. Olùmẹ̀kẹ́lẹ́ wákàtí kẹ̀sì ẹ̀mọ́ ọ̀tún nàlá dọ́ọ̀dọ́ọ̀rì olùmẹ̀kẹ́lẹ́ kú nù dọ́ọ̀rì. Kono ga wekuchie ya onu mekenekwu unu ndị moving train onu mekenekwu unu leasing officer n'obodo niile onu mekenekwu unu ndị banyere na France onu mekenekwu unu Germany onu mekenekwu unu ndị obodo onu mekenekwu unu
na-enwe n'ụbọchị nketa obodo kwesịrị zuu Naijiria lekwa Naijiria ma dọsa ya Chineke nna dị ngosi onye ọbụla na-ekpe ekpere ka Naijiria wee wuru ofu nna nke Brgie ndị dị etu a wee laa ha n'iyi Chineke nna kiwe biko bịa kiwe kpọọ ha ọkụ kpee ezinụlọ ha ọkụ ka ha ra agbanyeghị ndị ha bụ ọbụladị ndị ụkọchukwu onye ọbụla mehụrụ ọnụ ma kulie wee sị na ọ ga-adịrị Naijiria na mma ọ ga-adịrị onye ahụ na mma na ezinụlọ na mma site gosi wee na-eme n'ụbọchị nketa obodo kwesị bụ zuu Naijiria lekwa Naijiria ma dọsa ya Chineke nna dị ngosi onye ọbụla na-ekpe ekpere ka Naijiria wee wuru ofu nna nke Brgie ndị dị etu a wee laa ha n'iyi Chineke nna kiwe biko bịa kiwe kpọọ ha ọkụ kpee ezinụlọ ha ọkụ ka ha ra agbanyeghị ndị ha bụ ọbụladị ndị ụkọchukwu onye ọbụla mehụrụ ọnụ ma kulie wee sị na ọ ga-adịrị Naijiria na mma ọ ga
Welcome. Thank you for joining me on today's program. I appreciate everyone that has connected wherever you are. Please like and share the program. Don't keep this program to yourself. We must continue to evangelize, no matter the attack, no matter the propaganda, no matter the blackmail, we must continue to evangelize. My fellow Biafrans, I welcome every one of you that have successfully connected to this program today. You are highly welcome. We have come once again to spread the gospel of Biafra. We have come once again to preach that message, the message of freedom. We must continue to speak and we must continue to pass this message. The enemies of Biafra, they are not resting and we will not rest either. We will continue to speak. We will continue to expose the enemy. The battle of the soul of Biafra has just begun. The battle for the soul of Biafra has just begun. And our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa, is leading us to victory. There is no doubt. Wherever you are today as a Biafran, you must connect to this victory. You must connect to this victory. It is a time of freedom. Don't allow the propaganda of the enemies to get you. Don't allow the blackmail of the enemies to get you. No matter how they try to stop us, do not allow it. It is certain that the enemies do not want us to succeed. My fellow Biafrans that are watching this program, please share this program as you join us. I know that they are blocking us, they are hindering us, they don't want us to speak, but you have to do your own part. If you are able to come into the program, please try as much as you can to share. Share on your platform, share to family and friends, share to everybody that is close to you. At least by sharing, you can help us to reach out to other people. We know that the battle is not easy. It is a very heavy battle. They are trying everything possible to block us from doing what we have to do. But we will not allow them to stop us. The more they try to stop us, the more we will try and continue to preach the gospel. Continue to preach the gospel of Biafra. Don't allow anybody to bring you down. Don't allow anybody to hinder you. No matter what they say, no matter what they do not allow anybody to hinder you. We must continue to preach this gospel. We will preach it in the morning, we'll preach it in the afternoon, we'll preach it in the evening. We preach the gospel of Biafra at any point in time. It doesn't matter, even if we have only one person watching, we will preach it. Even if we come online and there is nobody watching, we will preach it. Because the message is not in our hands. The message is the message of Chukwu Okike Abiama, and it is his duty to push the message and send it to people who need to hear us. My fellow Biafrans, the battle for the soul of Biafra has just begun, and we are going to fight that battle with everything in us. Do not allow the enemies to hinder us. No matter how they try to shadowban us or block us, do not allow it. My fellow Biafrans, I urge you to help and share this program so that we get to people we need to get to. And today, we are going to listen to one of the messages of our Supreme Leader, Mazen Nandekan. I want every one of you to pay attention to this message of our Supreme Leader. We are going to learn a lot from it. I have always advocated that people should always try to listen to the message of our Supreme Leader. Any time that you have, even if it is 10 minutes a day, 20 minutes every day, 5 minutes every day, but make sure you listen to any portion of the message of our Supreme Leader. Your life will never remain the same. He has left messages for us that will help us to grow. Our Supreme Leader have given us messages that will help us to expand. And we will not allow anybody to hinder us or to block us. That is why I am calling everybody to support and share as you join. And Chukwu Okike Abiama will help us. Let us listen to this broadcast that was made by our Supreme Leader Mazen Nandekan before he was kidnapped, to remind us some things we have forgotten and to direct us to the lane we shall move and continue to move. Let's listen. Before we go into that, I think I have to first of all see if we have a jingle reminder to play. It's unfortunate we don't have any one of it around. So we go straight into the message of the day. It will have been born. First of all, I want to commend Biafrans all over the world. Biafrans, not just IPOB family members, but Biafrans all over the world on a resoundingly successful lockdown of Biafra land. Even those in Igbo child running their mouth, like a woman that just had miscarriage, like we care, people talking rubbish all the time. Igbo was on lockdown. The banks did not open. The markets did not open. Rather, very sadly and idiotically, Channels TV ran to the fool, Mrs. Tambuwal. I was interviewing, he was ranting his usual rubbish. You know, when you take too much Hennessy and cocaine, a fellow man, blind you with your face, is pushing your head beside the pillow. You lose every sense of reasoning and perspective. That is what is happening to me. Jide, your backside now like me. You lose every sense. I said, man. I want to ask you a question. Was OP on lockdown yesterday? Yes or no? And I want Channels TV to listen very carefully because they are foolish. Very foolish. They claim they are practicing journalism. What they are doing, I have no idea. Channels TV, I know all of you are listening. Everybody listens to Radio Biafra, of course you do. I want to ask you a question. Was all people on lockdown yesterday or not? And where is all people? It's in River State. Is that not correct? Is your village, Obiabo, on lockdown or not? Your village was on lockdown yesterday. Let me put it this way, very simply. All the upland of River State, was it on lockdown yesterday or not? Ask any banker you know in Iguacha for the benefit of those who do not know where Iguacha is. It's called Port Harcourt in River State. Ask any banker in Port Harcourt yesterday, did you open for business? Why did you not open for business? Because an order was given, you must stay at home. And that order was obeyed. The idiot came on television. He can't even sit properly like a man because he's the guy who won't allow him. He cannot sit properly. His bottom cannot sit properly. He sits like a woman. Watch him. This is Tambuwal. You're talking rubbish on channels to let your husband know, oh, darling, I'm here. I'm still fighting the cause. I'm not evil. You want to please Fulani? At all. River State was on lockdown yesterday. When the media of the zoo, we are reporting it, they never mentioned the fact. Let me not say the whole of River State. Let me try to be as objective as I can be. Parts of River State was on lockdown, true or false. Let us go to Delta. I know that Warri disappointed yesterday because our radio there is not working. It has not been working for a while now. Our relay station, we are going to fix it. Let me also ask Nigerian media journalists, all of you, was Ahaba on lockdown yesterday or not? The white man named it Asaba. The name is Ahaba. Was Ahaba on lockdown yesterday or not? Where is Ahaba? Your so-called Niger Delta South and all that rubbish. The capital city of Delta State was on lockdown. Why? Because of a very simple instruction. Sit at home. Honor our heroes. And they did. That is why this very evening, having recorded 100% compliance, I salute every Biafran. I can assure you that the spirit of those that served you between 67 and 70 will be rejoicing. Our eternal leader, Modimego will be very happy. Ikonso will be very happy. I'm sure by now he would have gone back to dealing with Ibrahim Atahir. I commend all of you. You were exceptional yesterday. And I must say, and the governors as well. When I say the governors, I know those I'm talking about. Ifeanyi Okowa. I'm talking about Ifeanyi Okowa of Delta State. I'm talking about Obiano that led the way by building a cenotaph, commendable. In fact, I wouldn't expect anything less because he is from the taproot of Biafra, of Igbo land itself. He is the son, a direct descendant of Igbo. So I'm sure he did the right thing. I'm not going to call him lion. If he does, if he makes one wrong move, I shrug him. But when you do something right, of course, I'll commend you. We are very objective here. I want to also remember the speech the interview that Ibazu gave to Channels Television, very commendable, I must say. And also the vibes we were getting from the governor of Enugu State, highly commendable. And the surprising, surprise of all is there for Maggie. He behaved like a man eventually. He behaved like a man. And I must commend him as well. They did very well. And may they continue along that line. I didn't mention the Sarajin Fulani of Imo because he's not a governor. He is an administrator for Fulani people. I cannot mention him. He came out to challenge us openly to say, this lockdown will not hold in Imo State. That our culture abhors. Do you know that in our culture in those days, if there is any whiff of criminality in your family, nobody will allow their daughter to be married into your family, and your daughters will not be married to anybody else. Are you aware of that in the olden days? All of you now celebrate criminality. You celebrate evil. I look at you and I laugh. In the olden days, it's called Irim to go and ask questions. When you want to marry a girl or a girl wants to get married to a man, they send people to go and ask questions about the family. The first question they ask, does this lineage have criminals in them? Because we don't want our daughter to go somewhere and be giving birth to criminals. All of you celebrate 419 these days. I look at you and I laugh at you. In the time of the ancients, once there is, a whiff of a word that this family, that they give birth to thieves, believe you me, all of that name, that lineage, you will die a natural death. Because nobody will agree to marry into that family. And nobody will come there to take their daughters. That's how we are as a people. An ex-419, a murderer and a killer, was installed in Imo State, and he had the temerity. Nobody told him about what has gone before. That you don't come outside to challenge the will of God. Everything IPOB does is the will of God Almighty in heaven. That is why we pray the way we do. That is why we comport ourselves the way we do. That is why we are whiter and whiter than snow. That is why we are without blemish. Insofar as the restoration of Biafra is concerned, without blemish, I'm telling you. That is why everything I say comes to pass. That is why everything that IPOB touches turns into gold. That is why we are unstoppable. That is why, despite the fact that politicians do not support us, despite the fact that all the so-called money bags do not support us, today we are the largest, most potent mass movement anywhere on earth. We are formidable. IPOB. IPOB is a spirit. When you provoke us, we turn into monsters. But in the main, we are peace-loving people. Because we are the children of God Almighty in heaven. Without God, how can we be where we are today? I ask you. With nothing. that today we give a command and the whole world stands still? Do you think it is us that is doing it? It is God Almighty in heaven, using us as instruments to make the manifestation of His will upon the lives of His children a reality in their time. That's exactly what we are doing. APUB is a monster, I'm telling you. I commend all of you. All of you, I commend each and every one of you. Each and every one of you. We are doing that which is right before God Almighty in heaven and the sons of men on this very earth. There was the only people that actually did something decent. The decent coverage was by Vanguard newspaper. I think it's one correspondent who wrote it. It's called, what's his name again? I think a lot of them put this very piece together. Very many of them. I think Vincent Ujuma, the Festus Ahom, Chidi Wapara, Chinosa Lozio, Gochuku, Steve Oko is there, Ikechiku, Odu Chinedu, Adon, all of them, Chimobi Winu, they went out onto the streets to ask questions. Because in the morning of this very, this historic lockdown, not sit at home, lockdown of Biafra land yesterday, they sought permission to say, please, if you move about, we said to them, as long as you're a journalist, nothing's going to happen to you. Go and ask questions, and they did. They did. Let me give you a few headlines as to what Biafrans did yesterday. The zoo is still in a shock. That was why some people hurriedly were putting their propaganda together. For ESN operatives to kill, arms recovered, all these idiots. Even some fools used the name of Officer Kintoye to be writing rubbish, thinking I will respond to it. I know that's what Tinubu is doing. It's Tinubu, that's where they operate. They think they can use the media to win campaigns for all of us. They don't know that this is in a media age, and this generation is very, very savvy. They can discern, they can understand, they can interpret. Socio-economic activities paralyzed in Enugu, Yimo, Anambra, Abia, Asaba, and Rivers. Which are you listening? You know, sometimes I wonder what Yoruba journalists gain by being mischievous and evil. There are some professions that doesn't actually suit black people. Any profession in this life that requires you to use your conscience to work for the benefit of humanity, a black person should not occupy that position. I will enumerate later on. For the first time, Omoahia, the streets were empty. Omoahia, where I come from, is known for their stupidity and idiocy. Arguably one of the most un-Biafran and idiotic set of people on the face of this very earth. The Ibeku that I come from, very foolish. Most of you don't know that Agui Ironsi is an Ibeku man. It's from my clan. Do you know that? Do you know that the first general in the history of Nigeria, if not the whole of Africa, I mean battlefield general, not quota general, the person, the people that gave Ironsi his generalship were white people, not blacks. White. Oyibo. Ironsi was a battlefield general, not quota general. Agree. The first general, the first indigenous commander of the Nigerian army is from Ibeku, my clan, my village. Or should I say my mother's village in Duma? It's from Omwana. Ibeku. We produced the first military head of state, the first general ever, battlefield general, even general before the zoo became an independent flag, independent enclave of the British. And that is Ibeku. If you ask them to sit at home, they'll be talking rubbish. That is why they were ignored. History forgot about them. It's my land, yes. History forgot about them completely because of their idiocy and stupidity. Umuahia is the land that produced Dr. Michael Obara. The same way Umuahia produced Ironsi, Umuahia produced Dr. Michael Obara. The man, according to Harvard Review, not black newspaper or magazine, according to Harvard Review, the fastest growing economy in the world, the man that made it possible, It was Opera's miracle, economic miracle, that frightened Britain. That was why they organized the first coup, so that they can slaughter us. That man is Momoy. The only black man in the history of the world to grow the economy of his region faster than any other economy in the world, including USA, including Britain, including Japan, everybody else. Number one in the world is from Omai. Yet if you ask Omai, they don't even know who they are. That's why they are foolish. But I think yesterday they came back to their senses, and I commend them. Of course, our bias is always there. Abba and Donisha, how can I forget? Abba and Donisha. I salute them immensely. And they say better late than never. Enugu did very well, and I commend them. Ebony, of course, was there too. Enugu did, except people were lamenting. After my program yesterday morning, people started calling and lamenting. So we are calling my lawyers and lamenting and saying, how can you say this about Enugu? Enugu is complying. All we want is total compliance everywhere, because Biafra doesn't belong to me. I'm only preaching the gospel that heaven asked me to preach. Biafra is your own. You are fighting for a better future for your children, away from the horrible torment of Fulani Janjaweed Caliphate. Biafra is yours. It doesn't belong to me. When we ask you to sit at home, you must comply. It's for your own good and the good of your children. Today, haven't you heard that the whole world is reverberating to the success that was recorded? We are the very best of the best. And I must commend to Governor Obiano for building the cenotaph. He built it last year. I think it was last year he built it, but this year, our people, Biafrans, everything takes time. Everything takes time. I'm sure in the next 2-3 years, if this tradition continues, the whole world, only then will the world recognize that there was genocide against us. So you don't know that? If you don't say you're somewhere, nobody will quote you that you're there. We cannot be going around and saying to the world, great injustice was done to Biafra, or Semena. When you yourself, you're not doing anything about it. Days like yesterday is what will bring to the fore the level of injustice and mayhem visited upon Biafran people. Only then will the world consider Biafra genocide as being worthy to be mentioned in the book of those that have been killed unjustly in the history of man. I said it yesterday, and I want to say it again today, that I'm commending Governor Willie Obiano, Ugwuanyi, Ibazu, Umahi, and Okowa of Delta State. Very, very critical. That I commend them because of the role that they played. Everybody got together and made sure that this happened. Imo State was not locked down. Thank you, my dear brother. It was chained. I think Imo State chained. Apple. Imo State was chained. That whole body was chained. No army, no police, no police, no bagger. That move. On that chain. Lock and key. Or when municipality on that chain. They couldn't come out. I don't care why they did what they did, even if after all, man's daily existence is politics itself. I don't care why the governors decided to change their minds, but we welcome it all the same. If they do the right thing, of course, we will commend them. We sat at home and I commend each and every one of you. Nobody should give any time to that idiot. He now owns Channels TV. Every 2 days he will appear on channels. He will pay them money and they'll be writing rubbish about him. He was ranting as usual. After snorting cocaine and drinking Hennessy, his vocal cords all gone. A lawyer who doesn't know the meaning of the rule of law. Talking like somebody, maybe, anything is possible these days. You know that men can become pregnant. Yeah, you aware of that? You know that men can become pregnant these days. Go and search for it. I will say Google it. I will say go and search for it.
Maybe use Bing search engine, don't use Google because they've been bought over by the zoo as well. Go and search and you'll see it. Men can become pregnant. Maybe Wiki had a miscarriage. You know, anyway, I know that love is very strong. His love for Tambuwal, you know, outweighs his identity and ethnicity. That's why he's always ranting and talking like a fool. Who cannot, a man who sits on a chair like a woman. Oh dear me. I've said it before that any profession that requires men to fall back on their conscience when making decisions is not for black people. Why am I saying what I'm saying? In the zoo, before you can pass your exams, the lecturer must sleep with you. Is that not correct? Am I correct? Or you have to pay the bribe? Is that not correct? Is that not correct? It is only in Africa that pastors own private jets. The Pope, who is the richest religious figure in the world, has no jet. Africa houses the poorest countries in the world, but their pastors, they have private jets. An anomaly. They call it a blessing. Any profession that requires men to use their conscience is not for black people. How about judges in a law court? In the zoo, they have two judgments. If you bring brown envelope, they give you a favorable judgment. That's what they do. Isn't it? Black people. How about journalism? How about from Delegiwa? And a few other bright people, maybe now, Dele Momodu, because he has seen the light, has seen the truth. Apart from Delegiwa and now another Dele Momodu, maybe, if you can keep it up and continue to be consistent, the rest are they journalists? Maybe once in a while. Or let me focus on the editors, not the journalists themselves, the editors. What you have in this is journalism. Channels TV was interviewing Weekend live. Channels TV is aware that Iguacha was on lockdown. They saw the pictures and they saw the videos. Is it to ask the man, how come parts of River State was on lockdown? I said, we are not part of them. IPOB cannot come here and tell us what to do. But I did. And they listened to me. They didn't listen to you. They didn't listen to you. Did they? You want me to send you the pictures and the videos? Please, people should send it on Twitter and tag him so he can see it. Pictures and videos of Iguacha, especially that video that went to the bank asking for the bank to open. And the bank said that we cannot open. There is an order. Is it at home? Send that video the weekend to Channels TV. You know what I want area. Not you think if you appear so many times on Channels TV to impress your lover, and wow, somehow they will believe you. Is that what you think? During referendum, you are talking like a drunken fool. During referendum, you only have one vote. Me, Namdekan, only one single vote. Do you want Biafra to be free or do you want to remain in Nigeria? Simple. That day you cast your vote. Only one vote you will cast. You little demon. Idiots like you. After maybe 2 years, you come down there. Then they go saying, "Hey, if we don't get you before then." I say it out in the open. I don't hide it. You went, that as I've been saying, I want to go to Hague. I want to be tried in a law court anywhere in the world where all the facts about the zoo, all the nonsense you fools have been doing will be brought to public knowledge. That day, the whole world will know what you've been up to. Mad people. You remember there was a time even African referees were not allowed to referee any match because they are corrupt as black people for you. I don't want to spend time educating Channels TV and the wannabe Hitler Weekend on how Rivers was created, but I'll just touch upon it very briefly. I want you to understand that Rivers State, go to Wikipedia. After Rivers State, you will see a bracket. Inside it is Igbo, IGBO, for information. Maybe tomorrow you pay them to change it. Oh, dear me. You were created in 1967. 26 27th of May, 1967, you were created. Remember what I told you people about Children's Day, 27th of May. Some of you don't know this, but I will teach you. Children's Day that you are celebrating coincides with the day that River State was created. That was the day that the Eastern Consultative Assembly gave Ojukwu the mandate to declare Biafra. That same day, the British intelligence got wind of it through BBC correspondent in Enugu. And Britain called Gowon and told Gowon what was happening and gave Gowon this advice that they themselves, being the British, the best way they have used over the centuries to conquer people is by dividing them. Divide them first, then you go and conquer them. Divide and rule. And go on that same 27th children, as I told you, the reason why they call it Children's Day. People don't know how important 27th of May is. It was on that same day as they were deliberating that River State was created. That same day. Are you following? People didn't actually go to school, writing rubbish and talking nonsense, but the Constitution and all that rubbish. I look at them and I laugh because they are not educated. They didn't go to school. I went to government college in University of Nigeria and Sugar. Of course, SBS, Iwacha, School of Basic Studies in Port Harcourt. I went to London Metropolitan University. We are well read. We are well read. We know what we're talking about. On that 27th of May, as British intelligence MI5 got wind of the fact that the Eastern Consultative Assembly had granted Ojukwu the right to proclaim Biafra on the 27th, they told Gowon to divide Biafra. That same day, and River State was created. Weak, are you listening? Because you don't know history. You're a fool. You know. This Rivers, I'm a Rivers man. How old are you? You are just like those shouting one Nigeria every blessed day. Idiotic, moronic set of people. A man is 80-something years old, older than Nigeria by over 20-something years. And I'm asking you, before you became a Nigerian, who are you? I cannot answer. That is one thing I hold against Nigerians. And I will keep on holding it until their shame will sink into them. I'm asking you, how old were you in 1967? I'm asking you. That was when your Rivers was created. And you proceeded to go and start stealing properties belonging to your brothers. Because you don't want the land to kill you. That's why you said you are no longer evil. Idiot like you. If some of you have been following the news lately, you will see that they said it has passed the second reading or third reading, their restructuring bill. In that restructuring bill, they are now proposing to create a new state called a Neoma state with the capital in Ahaba, which some of you call Asaba, of course, because you're ignorant, you're all products of colonial rule anyway. And they plan to add it into Southeast. Ahaba, Delta State, and Neoma, but not River State, because Fulani is very lazy. They need to do to the rest of you what they need to do. Then your eyes will open. By the time they'll be dealing, by the time they'll be dealing with you, you'll be shouting and nobody will listen. Allow wicked to keep misleading all of you, like the idiots that some of you are. We used to have the same problem everywhere around Biafra land until we said no, enough is enough. We came, Gowon created you, Rivers, 27th of May 1967, the same day that the lies of Frank Opigo from Okrika, for your information, and a John man was in Enugu advising Ojukwu. That same period, that same day, that same 27th, Ojukwu said, what shall we call this our new nation? After they had passed the resolution. And a German, I'm saying this because of this, and I get that I'm a nation, other rubbish. I want you to listen to me very carefully. And a German rose up Chief Frank Obigo and said, the name of our new nation shall be Biafra. And Ojukwu asked him, why Biafra? Because Ojukwu himself, even a historian, an Oxford-trained historian, did not know. Frank Obigo whispered to him, not in here, I will tell you later what Biafra means. Do you know how God works? Ojukwu did not quibble, he did not argue. If Ojukwu wanted to dominate other people, if Igbos had wanted to dominate other people, Ojukwu would have just said, this new nation shall be called Igbo nation, isn't it? But you see, these people, I don't know. They said that the Zoo army is in Abao, they're looking for trouble. When they get it, they start complaining. The Nigerian army is now in Abao, perambulating and patrolling, looking for who to kill. When the angels find them now and send them to God for judgment, you start acting rubbish. Now they're patrolling inside Abao, but you cannot ask them to go back to the barracks and sit down. Because something is happening. As I was saying before, those Zoo vermin interrupted my train of thought. It's that same 27th of May, 1967. That day is very, very critical, I'm telling you. As Frank Obigo and a John was telling Ojukwu, later on I will tell you why I recommended that the name should be Biafra. And the Holy Spirit was upon Ojukwu. God was, angels from heaven were ministering to him, telling him, listen to Frank Obigo. And as soon as Chief Obigo finished, Ojukwu said the name shall be Biafra. If Ojukwu had domineering tendencies, if the Igbos wanted to lord it over every other person, to conquer them, I think Ojukwu should have insisted on the place answering Igbo nation, isn't it? That's pure common sense. As the Fulanis are doing to the Hausa people up north. Isn't it? Of course, Ahaba is in between. Ahaba, Asaba is Ahaba. The name is Ahaba. Go there. If you go to Asaba tomorrow morning, you see the name there, Ahaba. Go and ask the traditional ruler. The Asaba of Asaba. Go and ask him, what is your name? You tell him that. If you go to his palace, you look at Ahaba. That's the name. Like Ahabi name. Who doesn't know that? Is it all this nonsense? These corrupt, useless Yoruba journalists are writing every day that you're reading. That's why people who are born in Lagos sometimes, to be honest with you, I don't quite see them as normal people, to be honest with you. I'm being honest with you. You know, all these people that grew up in Lagos and can all this person, they know nothing in their brain. They're the ones that will insist. The name is Asaba. It's Ahaba. Go there to Ahaba, you will see it. As you have a happy name. Common sense, they don't have, they claim they're educated. I went to school. I have PhD. Do you know who I am? Whereas your brain is empty. You know nothing, absolutely nothing. Ojukwu adopted the name Biafra. As Ojukwu was giving us the name Biafra, christening us Biafra, according to the advice of Chief Frank Obigo, one idiot or somebody I can't go on is saying, I'm going to divide you. I'm going to create Cross River, and I'm going to create Ogoja State, and I'm also going to create River State. True or false? We care. I throw like you. What do you know? You go on channels and you're talking like somebody that fell from a Pamantapa that fell from palm tree. I throw like you claim you're a lawyer, you know nothing. Absolutely nothing. Your brain is empty. Absolutely empty. That is why a fellow man like that will useless your backside because you're an idiot. You're a complete fool. You know nothing. I feel sorry for those you are deceiving. Poor students. You raise in the zoo, you go to NYAC, your brain is empty, you know nothing. Absolutely nothing. You don't know your history. You don't even know the history of your own village. We should start by asking, what is the history of my village? I know where we come from. My village. I kept asking my father before he passed. I kept asking him, tell me the history of this my father, and he told me. The soldiers are molesting people. Catherine Lang, where you're having your, I hope you're listening. Channels TV, Yoruba journalists, I hope you're listening. That soldiers, Nigerian soldiers are in Aban right now molesting people. I hope you can hear it. When there is equal response now, you start writing your joke. That's why I said that a black man should not be a journalist. We lack conscience. Black people do not have conscience. That is why you give chieftaincy titles to people who are doing 419. People like Hope Uzadema can come and become a governor of a state. In the olden days, people like him will be exiled or sold into slavery because he's a thief. 419, River State was created. And in fact, I want to direct now, Weekend, you claim you're a lawyer, and also Channels TV. Somebody should also email Channels TV as nearly as possible the Willing Commission report of 1958. Because I don't know, is there anything wrong with your brain cells? You people, you animals in the zoo animals calling themselves Nigerians. Is there anything, are you sure your brain is not made of sawdust? Is there something in your brain that is stopping you to do from reasoning? I want somebody to send this very report, the Willing Commission report, to every idiot that calls him or herself a Niger Delta. Send it to them. Send it to them because the idiocy is becoming too much. This foolishness can no longer tolerate it. Send it to them. Which is born today. Orata, you know what? It's also in Igbo land. They say they are not, we are from Guinea, near the upper palace, near his palace. Chai. Who did this thing to you people? Who did, I can understand. I know that black people by nature are very stupid. But it seems to me there are layers of stupidity. All these Niger Delta South people, it seems your own stupidity is incomparable. I'm telling you. God forbid. Oh, no wonder the Sultan can come to Bayelsa and own over 30 oil wells. Now you understand it, don't you? No wonder. No wonder Danjuma owns these 15 oil wells. No wonder your land can be polluted and you can't do nothing about it. Absolutely nothing. What can you do? Nothing. You lament, you cry, and nobody listens. And they float NDDC. And their budget is maybe $1 million, and all of you are scrambling for $1 million. Whereas the Sultan of Sokoto preaching unity and one Nigeria is because of his oil wells in Bayelsa. And you're telling me you went to school. You're telling me you can reason. You are telling me you can think properly. Do you understand it? Do you understand it? Ndoke are all indigenous Igbo extraction in River State. It is called River Igbo. I want you to go to Wikipedia now and type in River State on Wikipedia. You will see it. River State. The first bracket you see is Igbo, IGBO. People may wonder why am I preaching this all the time. Because I grew up in the village. And in the village, you learn a lot of things. Not like in the township, where you learn nothing. You live in a yard. I grew up in the village. And there is a saying where we come from. You can only show me my relative. You cannot show me my friend because I make my friends myself. You can't bring somebody and say, oh, come, this is your friend. No. If I told any of you have had the privilege of staying in a village, in a Biafran, typical Igbo village, Biafran village, for up to a week, let's say during festive season, what happens usually? If you can remember, a village, one of them listen, oh, the lecturer, listen. When you are in the village during any festive season. How many times have you heard your mom or your father say, oh, come, come, come? They will call your name and say, come. Come and see your uncle. Come and see your aunt. Come and see your cousin. How many times? Because they are all your relatives. That's the only people that can show to you. Nobody can show you your friend, because your friends you make yourself. Now you understand me? Going back to Wicked and Ikwere people, or some not Ikwere players, I don't want to generalize. After all, it was an Ikwere chief that was coming to see me when I was in prison. The delegation of people coming to see me when I was in prison, if you go to the archives of the people coming to court, anytime I have a case, they will charter luxurious bus from Iguacha all the way to Abuja. It's an Ikwere chief. Have you all forgotten? You have all forgotten, haven't you? So I am weak, cannot make me to generalize. I'm not stupid. Who are the people that observed the sit at home? The lockdown yesterday in Rivers. I don't know to pray people. Yes, and I'm asking you a simple question. So I'm not going to generalize. I'm not going to generalize. Now listen to me. Before the independence of the zoo, basically before the 27th of May 1967, there was no identity crisis in Rivers. None whatsoever. None. I have said this thing to people many times. They don't want to listen. When I was arguing about the origin of the Igbo race, some people said the anthropologists, the historians, and all that rubbish. They were talking pure people. And I tried to prove to them that the Igbo race is comprised or made up of three distinct people. Three distinct, I said different people make up the Igbo race. They were talking nonsense. I said to them that the best place, because our ancestors were very clever, how you know where you come from is by the names you give your children or the names you give your towns and your villages. And they said, how did I come to that realization? I said to them, do you know that the last phase that came, the house of Ephraim and Manasseh, that came from the Harish region of Israel, the last migration that came, those that passed through Ethiopia, that went through Rwanda and all the rest of it, through Cameroon before coming down to settle, crossing the Mambala River, and settling at Umweri and Aguleri. Do you know who they are? Of course, people do not know. They were the ones that gave the name. They were the people that realized that the oldest people on that land are the Igbo people. When they came to a place called Agolo, they said that this is the road that leads to the settlement of Igbo people. They named it Agolo Uzo Igbo, which means Agolo, where you pass before you go to the settlement of Igbo people. Agolo, Agolo Uzo Igbo. Uzo means the road that leads to. The same way you have Akole and also Akole. Also, Akoli means this is the road you use to go to Akoli. I don't know if people are paying attention. Papanism was in heaven. They are the ones that said this is Agolo Zibo. This is Agolo. This Agolo settlement is the road you used to go to where Igbos are. Agolo Esiaga Ebendi Igbo. Agolo Ozo Igbo. I hope that makes sense to most of you. Now you understand. All of you fools claiming South. So, do you know that Aguleri people and Umweri can be said they're not Igbo? Do you know that? Do you know that Uweri people and Arotu can say they're not Igbo? Do you know that some parts of Umbise or Hoho and Ibeku can say they're not Igbo? Are you aware of that? Because the original people who were there can be found in a place called, you know, our names are very brilliant. Ibu. Hope you understand it very clearly now. You are following what I'm saying. I go back to the Willing Commission. The reason why we keep having this debate all the time is because our people are not educated. I'm sorry to say this. But our people are not well educated. That is the problem. If you can take out only 5 minutes, anybody calling themselves Niger Delta, I'm not Igbo, I'm Anyoma, I'm not Igbo. If you can take out only 5 minutes to read the Woolley Commission report, white people wrote it, not blacks, then you will understand your stupidity. It will be staring you in the face. It's from weekend. According to Woolley report, white man in 1958, way before, almost 10 years before Gowon created or gave you your new identity. More than I'm reading the report verbatim, white man's report, Willing, because they complained. Everywhere you go, Igbo man is there, in New Culture, everywhere. We want minority, we want to be recognized. They call themselves minority. Is that correct? When Britain was tuning them. Because Britain wanted unrestricted access to our oil and gas. And the only way to achieve it is to tell Ogoni people, yeah, you see, you are distinct, you are different. Ever since they started telling Ogoni people that they are different, have they succeeded? The answer is no. They come to Ijo, hey, Ijo nation, Ijo, you are different. Have you succeeded in getting your resource control? The answer is no. They come to the upper land of Igbo, which is from our crossing river. Not minding as a place, God do people. They tell you, oh, they hate you. This South, they hate you. Look for one Igbo nation only. Don't mind them. And some intellectuals and the Philippines will buy into it. They want to divide you, to weaken you. You have forgotten that Ahoda people are Igbo people. Bone people are Igbo people. I want to challenge all of you now. You know, during the burning of the house of that traitor, that saboteur, called, do you know who was, go on appointed Dieter Spiff, the one that just chased away from his palace now, as the governor of River State. Are you aware of that? No, you don't know, but I'm telling you now. That man they pursued a few days ago from his palace. He's called Alfred Dieter Spiff, if I'm not mistaken. He was the saboteur that Gowon used to administer River State, to spite Ojukwu. Understand? So they created natural saboteurs. You say this man you call, what's his name, Edwin Clark. Do you know why I hate him? He's a father, he's an elderly man. I should be respecting him. Is that not correct? According to our culture. Do you know why I hate him with a passion? He was a saboteur. They made him Minister for Information. That's how they go. And their British masters, they gave them political positions. They now went back to go and convince their own people that Biafra is a bad thing for them to be part of because of political appointment. Are you following me? This man was sacked from his palace a few days ago. Are you listening to me? He was sacked. Do you know why he was sacked? I can't see other way on. Go and watch that video again. All the people from Nembe, I think it's Nembe in Tom Brass. I want you to go and watch the video of the indigenous of Tuan Brass, Nembe, or whatever it is, removing the very corrupt king, Alfred Dieter Spiff. They were all speaking a dialect of Igbo in a Joland. Go and watch the video again and again and again. Are you listening to me? People ask me, why are you doing this? Are you begging them to join you? Why did you reject Igbo only Biafra? I said to them, as the Oriental Porora sang in their song, Kabaka in those days, I am only identifying with my flesh and my own blood. The same DNA, the same heritage, the same value system. In a referendum, they will have the chance to reject me. Then if they do, I will respect it. That is their own prerogative. and forever and ever will make it as a law that is binding on every generation that these are no longer your people. That's what we're trying to do. We are not forcing anybody to do anything. I am doing what the ancients did. If you see your flesh and blood, you recognize them. That's all we are doing. That's all we are doing. I will get to the case of Ogoni and the rest of them later on. But I want our people to understand this. The reason why they are goading you or forcing you to adopt a different identity is because it will be easier for them to control you once we are divided. I have preached this gospel before and I'll preach it again. The only reason why they killed Ken Saro was because the Igbos did not rise up to defend him. That's all. The reason why they did not kill me whilst I was in detention was because of their vengeance. Not Igbo people. Of course, IPAB was formidable. I mean, blogging get breached for 4 days. You know, who could have done that? And people ask me, why do I keep saying I will sacrifice anything for Biafra? Because they sacrifice everything for me. Head bridge was blocked for 4 days. Avengers came out. Mainly Ijaw youths came out to say we'll blow up every Nigeria will not export any oil. Their number one demand was releasing Nnamdi Kanu from detention. How can I not preach about the unity of these people? Why won't I preach it? I hope that Mika can learn. I'm going to read the Willing Commission report for you. More than 98% of people who inhabit this area is called the Igbo Plateau of the Eastern region. You know what it's called? It's called a plateau. You know what a plateau is? Like Plateau State. It's a table land, it's a flat land. If you cross Ungwa, once you enter Ungwa, basically, if you don't know who the hills ends, you know why? Some of you that did geography, who the hills, the range of hills, where you have hills and you have valley. Like if you go to Unukuru, there are hills, there are valleys, and it ends in Omwai. From Ungwa, it is now flat land all the way to the ocean. That was why the white man called it the Igbo Plateau. It is in the Willings report of 1958. Channels, are you listening? Wike, are you listening? I'm reading the report for you. They are all Igbo and they speak one language, though of course with certain differences of dialect. There are nearly 5 million of them and they are too many for the soil to support. They are vigorous and intelligent and have pushed outward in every direction, seeking a livelihood by trade or in service in the surrounding areas of the Eastern region, in the Western region, in the North and outside Nigeria. They are no more popular with their neighbors than is usual in the case of an energetic and expanding people whose neighbors have a more leisurely outlook on life. This is simple English written by a white man. Wike, are you listening? General Steve, are you listening? A white man said in 1958, these people that inhabit the plateau of rivers, I call you Igbo, that is the proper name. You people, you are Igbo. You are intelligent. I'm not talking about Igbo people. You are very smart. You diverse. You travel out wide. You're energetic. You're hardworking. But the places you are going to, the people hate you in the north, in the west, everywhere you go to, they hate you because those people are lazy. That's what the white man said. I didn't say it. It's here now in their paper. My goodness me. They hate us because we are hardworking. That is why they brought Ahmed Gulag to Owerri and killed him, that they may demonize and kill as many of us as possible. Because we are energetic, we are blessed by God. Everybody is in this together, everybody in the former Eastern region. This is what a white man wrote about you in 1958. Do you know what the white man said again? As I've been teaching you for a very long time, let me tell you what the white man said. Though there has been no great kingdoms or indigenous culture in the Eastern region, no great kingdom. The only reason why Britain hated us was because they could not have any one man to go to say, oh, tell them what to do. Because we had no kings. But the coastal chiefs means the Ijaw people, The coastal chiefs, those who live by the very close to the Atlantic Ocean, they grew on their trade with European merchant ships, simply slavery. That's all they were doing. So some of you that claim you're from a John, you're not Biafra, you are saboteurs. It's in your nature. You've been selling your products to the white man from time. You don't speak the truth. And I damn the consequences. When you see somebody from a John land as a traitor, it didn't start today. They started selling us to the white man. The betrayal is in their blood. Look at it with the Clark. Look at how Jesus speaks. But I'm not going to generalize. The man that gave us the name Biafra that most Ijaw people said they don't want to identify with is an Ijaw man. That is the most, that is the irony of the whole thing. I thank God for Franco Pigo. I thank God for people I cannot mention their names here because I don't want the police looking for them. From Ijola. I thank Tumpolo. I thank all of them. They know who they are. That have this thing at heart. I'm not saying that ego politicians have helped any matters. No, they made it worse. And sometimes I don't blame our brothers from the coastal region. In the year 1999, I've said this story. I've told you this story about 1 billion times, but I'll say it again tonight. When you were still running around or carrying bags for politicians, I left England to try to come to Biafra land to unite this great family. Then there was no IPOB. There was no agitation by anybody. This was before MASOP started. Before anybody mentioned Biafra to anybody. I was at a place called Ogunabali in Iguacha, talking to the local chief, the traditional ruler there. And he said to me, my son, where are your fathers? This particular message you're bringing to me, your father should be bringing it here. A message of hope and reconciliation of our people. Because I sat him down and I lectured him about history and who we are, that we are one people. That was the day that I went to the office of Don Mite of Mosop. Ask him, he will tell you. The year was 1999. We've come a long way, haven't we? It's called consistency. I never change. Ask Mite, the leader of Mosop, what I told him in his office. I met him in his office in Niger Street. In Iguacha. I'll never forget. That day, I was coming from the home. I don't know if it's late now, because it's a very long time. I was coming from the home of the traditional ruler of Ogunabali. You know, Hotel Chester is opposite. Let Lord have mercy upon us. They don't know who we are. We have gone very far. Very, very far. I said Mosop. That was where I was recopied the name from. Mosop. Movement for the survival of Ogoni people. That was the #1 freedom fighting movement that was instituted anywhere in the East. They are #1. Mosop was #1. Ogoni freedom fighters, they were #1. So it was really merely copied the name because he was too lazy to do anything. So he just copied the name. Are you listening to me? The Rivers province include Brass and Degema. Brass and Degema were overwhelmingly Ijaw. I told about one Brass a while ago where Dieter Spieth came from, where he was sacked a few days ago. They were speaking Igbo dialect. And then there was the Ogoni division. It is all here. In that very place, that time, out of a population in Rivers province of 747,000 people in your so-called Rivers state, 305,000 were Igbo people, 240,000 were Ijaw people, 156 were Ogoni people. The only 3 people mentioned, distinct groups mentioned in Rivers state were Igbo, the owners of rivers, Igbo, Ijaw, and Ogoni. Every other subgroup, you must find yourself under either you are Ogoni, you are Ijaw, or you are Igbo. And the highest population of Igbo people in River State, the highest population of people in ethnic group in River State, Igbo people, in 1958. Dear me, dear me, dear me, dear me. My goodness. I don't know if I'm to continue on this talk because sometimes I don't know if our people actually absorbing what we are telling them. I don't know. Let me tell you what happened. According to the white man said, in the whole of the non-Igbo areas, the Ijo and the Ogun areas, there were some fear that are being overrun by the Igbo. The Igbo includes the Ikwere people, mind you, in their own land. There was fear of being overrun commercially and politically by the Igbos. If Ahoda and Port Harcourt, which is Igbo, which are really Igbo, a white man, are you listening to me? I've forgotten all the, I have other things to preach, but I want to educate this fool and Channels TV. Yoruba journalists, I want to educate you. Because some of you are very daft, you know nothing. I'm reading what a white man investigated and reported upon in 1958. What did this white man say? The white man said, in non-Igbo areas, which is in Ijo and Ogun, they are afraid that Igbo man will overrun them commercially and politically. This Igbo man includes Igbo man, which is weakest lineage. Weakest people. They said, if Ahoda and Port Harcourt, which are really Igbo, a white man said, Igbo is Igbo. The people that colonized you, said, Igbo is Igbo. It is here. Winning commission that you cried to. You were the people that petitioned him and said, we are minority, we are dying, come and save us. The white man came and said and told you that Ahoda and Igbo Port Harcourt are Igbo. It was considered the solid center of Igbo population. The fear and grievances of minorities. Why this commission was set up. After today, I will not read this very subject again. Please make sure, our media team, make sure you cut out this very thing. Anybody who talks nonsense about Nigeria themselves, and please cut this very clip and give it to that very individual, so they can receive some sense. I am asking them, I am giving them references. I'm not asking them to just sit in one place and accept what I'm saying. No, I'm asking them to go and do research on what I have said. On what I have said. The allegation was put forward by the council to the petitioners that the judiciary was predominantly Igbo, with the implication that this caused fear among those who are not Igbos. But it was clearly stated in the evidence by Dr. Udoma, the leader of UNIP, that no occasion could be adduced of the judiciary acting with partiality. So the white people concluded that the fears of the so-called minorities were unfounded, because this man, Dr. Udoma, came and said to them, show us an instance of impartiality by the judges. And they couldn't show anything. They couldn't. That tells you all you need to know. Some of you know the reason why most people from core areas, which is Cross River, Rivers, and the Goja region in those days were mainly, police officers. It was as a result of this willing commission. He was the one that recommended that, okay, if you're afraid that you're going to be overrun, okay, give them priority in the police service. That's why most of them go in the police. That is a fact, it's a historical fact, it is here. Anyway, when Mika is done, I don't want to educate that fool anymore. Maybe tomorrow channels will interview him again. He's not talking his usual rubbish as the fool that he is. That is why somebody will go to Ahaba and ban Biafran flag. The same person banning Biafran flag were part of the people that came to the same island and massacred people in broad daylight. You know, when I look at the irony of the whole thing, when I see people from the world say they want to go on Nigeria, I'm shocked. I'm shocked. Honestly, I'm horrified. And even the same one Nigeria that killed cancer. So they claim the police. We are banning Biafran flags in Delta State. They know what they are doing. They have been forcing us on this one, trying to frustrate us, so that maybe we can say, okay, give us only 5 eastern, southeastern states, let's go. That's what they want. And then they will say, okay, that is what they want. We are saying no. Because that was what God told us. God said, these are my children. From economic, all the way to Bakassi, they are my children. They must be under one house. Different ethnicities get under one umbrella. Later on, they can go their separate ways. I don't care. But insofar as this fight is concerned, so that when flood is not intend to come, simply tell you, we told you so. As I'm telling all of you, I told you so. When I told about people in America, why do you think that they now love us so much in World Eagle Congress? Because I told them no certain times that these people, they are coming. Yes, they are coming. They said, oh, how do you know? I said, I know, but they are coming. Have they not come today? Are people not running from Omaya, from Obakala, from everywhere they go? Yesterday night, say they have come. I told you they will come. I told you. In the year 2015, I told you they are going. It doesn't matter what you do, they are coming to the land. The same people that stood us up and shot us to pieces in Asaba is telling us you don't have any identity. You are what we call you. You are now Delta. But in the north, they call themselves Arewa. In the core north, I don't mean Middle Belt. In the Arewa. No one has actually said to them, okay, from today your name is Sahel. Since you're from the Sahel region, your name is Sahel. You're all Sahelians. But they can come to my land and say, you are a Delta. You're a Riverian. You're a cross Riverian. God have mercy. But you cannot ask them now to drop the name Arewa and they will listen to you. They'll tell you no, they won't drop it. Let us call them the Sahelians. He says that from the Sahel. The death is not in Ebo, instead is in Ebo. People that we are wrongly carved into Benue State. That is where the problem is coming from. And we're going to do ESN is going there, we're going to deal with it. In the next few days, you start hearing stories. We're going to deal with it. A little boy wrote to me, and I've read what he said to me, and we're going to respond. In the next few days, men will be on the ground to defend those places. Don't worry about that. We know what we're doing. I don't want to talk about me again, it's irrelevant. Yeah, change his purpose and then it's down the line.
You have heard the message from our supreme leader, Mazen Nandekano. The message is clear, and we will keep reminding you of the messages of our supreme leader, Mazen Nandekano, for as much as we can. We will continue to bring you these messages anytime, any day. No matter how they try to stop us, no matter how they try to attack us, we will continue to preach this gospel. My fellow Biafrans, before we end the program, I want you to listen to the voice and message of our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa.
I will be here to fight because freedom is not coming from Nigeria. Freedom is coming from abroad. Freedom is coming from the United Nations. Freedom is coming from Washington, D.C. Freedom is coming from the European Union. Freedom is not coming from Africa. Freedom is not coming from Nigeria. Freedom is not coming from Abuja. Freedom is coming from America. It's coming from Europe. You don't know that, know it. No matter how sad and bad it sounds. But that is the fact. So why should I go to Nigeria where freedom is not coming from? It's coming from here. I will be here. Biafra freedom will come from diaspora. I promised them for many years, since 2021, that I will bring the Biafra freedom from diaspora. I want you to look around yourself. Is it not coming from diaspora? They thought they have locked everywhere. If you go to Nigeria, they kill you. If you do, they will challenge you. Come to Nigeria, so we'll take you serious. Come to Nigeria. Because I will not come to Nigeria. If you want to die, go and put yourself on war. I will not come to Nigeria. I will be here to fight for my people and I will be here and free my people from Nigeria. When Queen Elizabeth was controlling you in Nigeria and doing amalgamation, was she there? Was she there? Queen Elizabeth, the same Lord Lugard, was she there? I will do like her. I will be here and free Biafra, and then I will come to unify Biafra people after Biafra has been recognized. I will be here to fight because freedom is not coming from Nigeria. Freedom is coming from abroad. Freedom is coming from the United Nations. Freedom is coming from Washington, D.C. Freedom is coming from the European Union. Freedom is not coming from Africa. Freedom is not coming from Nigeria. Freedom is not coming from Abuja. Freedom is coming from America. It's coming from Europe. You don't know that, know it. No matter how sad and bad it sounds. But that is the fact. So why should I go to Nigeria where freedom is not coming from? It's coming from here. Thank you very much.
Nobody is talking about the agreement and how Nigeria become a country from amalgamation to fake independence to today present Nigeria. They put it under the carpet because nobody have risen up to challenge them. Nobody have risen up to question the existence of Nigeria. Until now, we are questioning it under the Biafra government in exile. And we will question it with gun, we will question it with bomb, we will question it with civility, we will question it diplomatically, and we will question it politically. And that is the multi-dimensional approach. That thing they are avoiding to discuss, that particular existence of Nigeria or continuation of Nigeria, they have been avoiding to discuss, will be forced to discuss. They will be forced with the activities and the actions of the Biafra government in 2024. That's where we are going. That's why all these shenanigans, all this their regional government, all this nonsense you see happening are happening today. And they have not actually started hitting the point, because the point remains the continual existence of Nigeria as a country. They are not discussing it. What was the agreement of 1914? What was the agreement thereafter? Independent. What happened for after the 100 years of Nigeria? Nobody is discussing it. Our own British mandate terminated in 2014. That was when the British mandate terminated. When they say you have 100 years, after that we decide.
Ejiofor promised them he's in charge of IPO. Where is he today? He's gone. I want you to understand, mark my word now. Once Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is out, IPOB is gone, dissolved, completely dissolved. Mark my word. Every person today that is fighting me on the other side will be gone. I want you to mark this day. Mark this word I'm telling you now. Every one of them will be gone. I finish with them. I will be here. Biafra freedom will come from diaspora. I promised them for many years, but since 2021, that I will bring the Biafra freedom from diaspora. I want you to look around yourself. Is it not coming from diaspora? They thought they have locked everywhere. If you go to Nigeria, they kill you. If you do, they will challenge you. Come to Nigeria, so we'll take you serious. Come to Nigeria. Because I will not come to Nigeria. If you want to die, go and put yourself on hold up. I will not come to Nigeria. I will be here to fight for my people, and I will be here and free my people from Nigeria. When Queen Elizabeth was controlling you in Nigeria and doing amalgamation, was she there? Was she there? Queen Elizabeth, the same Lord Lugard, was she there? I will do like her. I will be here and free Biafra, and then I will come to unify Biafra people after Biafra has been recognized. I will be here to fight because freedom is not coming from Nigeria. Freedom is coming from abroad. Freedom is coming from the United Nations. Freedom is coming from Washington, D.C. Freedom is coming from the European Union. Freedom is not coming from Africa. Freedom is not coming from Nigeria. Freedom is not coming from Abuja. Freedom is coming from America. It's coming from Europe. You don't know that, know it. No matter how sad and bad it sounds. But that is the fact. So why should I go to Nigeria where freedom is not coming from?
I said, there is nothing that moves them. I have come to this earth to do one thing and one thing alone, is to fight and get Biafra. I have not come to this world to be a millionaire, to own hotel, to own oil block, to be close to the president of Nigeria. That is not my job. My job is, what have you done to restore Biafra? When I die and meet Chukwu Abiyama, that's what they will ask me. Did you get Biafra? Not how many cars you had, how many hotels you built. in Owerri? How many convoys you can travel with? Irrelevant.
The zoo has fallen. The zoo has fallen. Finally, the zoo has fallen. If you do not know that the zoo has fallen, check around yourself. Check around you.
Biafra na-enwe ụmụ Israel na-enwe ọṅụ ka anyị ji ana na so anyị ala ụmụ Biafra n'ala anyị na-ala n'ala nsọ ngwanụ ka anyị lawa aka kpucha ọnwa we are unstoppable, we are indefatigable. Ebe anyị na-ala bụ obodo ọma. The 14 states of Biafra. Ngwanụ. Anyị ana. Ihe Chidere odego ya. Chidere anyị Biafra. Anyị alawala. Ma ndị nọ n'obodo Igbo, ma ndị nọ na Naịjirịa, ma ndị nọ na mba ụwa ọzọ dị iche iche, obi kadawala, ọ na-akpanyụ n'ugwu na ndịda, oge ụnụ anyị erugo, webe ọṅụ, webe ọṅụ, webe ọṅụ, eluigwe na-enwe ọṅụ. Anyị apụọ, ana m anụ ya. Na so gbaa ya agba ezi ụka nwayọ na so we dey do am. Papa jiri ya nwayọ kama gbara m egwu a nwayọ. Ụmụaka ụmụ Biafra ụmụ ọma anyị a na-anụ n'obodo ọma ahụ obodo kwere anyị na nkwa. Ekene otito dị n'ọbasi nke igwe eze Chineke abịa m ụra onye na-etinye ụzọ ebe ụzọ na-adịghị odumala Biafra omen ụna